Every NBA champion is great, but some were clearly stronger than others. So today, I'm ranking every champion since 2010, from worst to best. I'm looking at roster talent, regular season dominance, playoff performance, star power, depth, defense, offense, and how good each team actually was at its peak. Number 17, the 2022 Golden State Warriors. This was still a great championship team, but compared to every other winner here, they had the lowest overall ceiling. Steph Curry was spectacular and finally won Finals MVP. Andrew Wiggins played the best basketball of his career, and veterans like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson still knew exactly how to win. Golden State finished 53-29, then went 16-6 in the playoffs and beat Boston in 6 games. But this roster was older and less explosive, and it was nowhere near as deep or talented as the Warriors teams from their dynasty peak. That's why they start the ranking at number 17. Number 16, the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee had an all-time great version of Giannis Antetokounmpo, along with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. But the team itself wasn't as dominant as most champions on this list. They finished 46-26 in the shortened regular season, and nearly went home against Brooklyn in the second round before surviving Game 7. Once they reached the finals, though, Giannis took over. He averaged more than 35 points, and finished the series with 50 in Game 6. Their size, defense, and 3-star core made them dangerous, but they relied heavily on Giannis reaching another level. That keeps them near the bottom. Number 15, the 2010 Los Angeles Lakers. The defending champions still had Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, and Ron Artest. That gave them one of the biggest and most physical rosters of this era. Los Angeles won 57 games and had elite interior scoring, rebounding, and championship experience. But this wasn't a team that simply overwhelmed everyone. They needed 6 games against Oklahoma City, 6 against Phoenix, and then 7 brutal games to beat Boston in the finals. Kobe and Pau were good enough to win any series, but compared with the faster, deeper, and more dominant champions ahead of them, this Lakers team lands at number 15. Number 14, the 2026 New York Knicks. New York was excellent when it mattered most, but I'm keeping them lower because their full season wasn't as dominant as the teams above them. Jalen Brunson was the offensive engine, while the Knicks had enough shooting, size, defense, and secondary creation around him to become extremely difficult to deal with in the postseason. Their playoff run was far more impressive than their regular season resume, and they ultimately finished the job in the finals. But when we're comparing complete championship teams, rather than just playoff runs, New York doesn't have the same combination of regular season dominance, superstar power, and proven depth as the champions coming next. Number 13, the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers. This team was built around one of the best superstar combinations of the era, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron controlled the offense, while AD was arguably the best defensive player in basketball during that postseason. Los Angeles surrounded them with size and useful veterans like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, Rajon Rondo, Alex Caruso, Dwight Howard, and Kyle Kuzma. They went 52-19 before the shutdown, then dominated the playoffs. They finished 16-5 and never needed a Game 7. Their shooting wasn't elite, and the roster wasn't loaded with creators. But their defense, physicality, and 2 superstars made them incredibly difficult to beat. Number 12, the 2023 Denver Nuggets. Denver wasn't historically dominant during the regular season at 53-29, but once the playoffs started, Nikola Jokic turned them into an offensive machine. Jamal Murray played like a second superstar, while Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Bruce Brown perfectly complemented their 2 stars. Denver went 16-4 in the postseason and never faced elimination. Then they beat Miami in 5 games in the finals. Jokic's ability to score, pass, rebound, and control every possession made their offense almost impossible to solve. They rank here mainly because the teams above them combined similar playoff strength with greater regular season dominance or deeper overall rosters. Number 11, the 2015 Golden State Warriors. This is where the ranking gets extremely difficult. Golden State won 67 games, Steph Curry won MVP, and the Warriors were already elite on both ends before Kevin Durant ever arrived. Klay Thompson provided elite shooting, Draymond Green became the heart of their defense, and Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Bogut, and Sean Livingston gave them outstanding depth. They went 16-5 in the postseason and beat Cleveland in 6 games. The Cavaliers were missing Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love for most or all of the finals, which does matter when comparing them with the teams above. This Warriors team revolutionized modern offense. But the champions ahead of them had either greater star power or stronger postseason versions. Number 10, the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Dallas didn't have the superstar depth of most teams ahead of them, but their roster fit together almost perfectly. Dirk Nowitzki was unstoppable when games got tight. Tyson Chandler anchored the defense. Jason Kidd organized the offense. Jason Terry provided crucial scoring, and Shawn Marion defended elite wings. The Mavericks won 57 games. Then they beat Portland, swept the defending champion Lakers, defeated the young Durant, Westbrook, and Harden Thunder, and finally took down LeBron, Wade, and Bosh in 6 games. They weren't physically overwhelming, and they weren't loaded with stars. But their shooting, defense, experience, and late-game execution made them far better than their roster looked on paper. Number 9, the 2012 Miami Heat. By 2012, Miami's superstar experiment had started becoming terrifying. LeBron James was entering the best stretch of his career, Dwayne Wade was still one of the league's premier guards, and Chris Bosh gave them the perfect third star because he could score, defend, and stretch the floor. Miami finished 46-20 in the shortened season. Then they went through Indiana and Boston, before beating Oklahoma City in 5 games in the finals. Their defense could create chaos, and their athleticism was overwhelming. But the supporting cast and offensive spacing were still not as polished as they would become 1 year later. That keeps them at number 9. Number 8, the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City had one of the most dominant regular seasons of the modern era. They won 68 games, while destroying teams with elite defense, transition play, and depth. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the superstar scorer, but Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Cason Wallace gave the Thunder waves of size, defense, and versatility. They could pressure the ball, protect the rim, force turnovers, and still create enough offense around Shai to beat almost any style. Their playoff journey wasn't quite as effortless as their regular season suggested. That's the main reason I don't place them even higher, despite their historic overall dominance. Number 7, the 2019 Toronto Raptors. Toronto might be one of the deepest championship teams on this entire list. Kawhi Leonard was playing at a superstar level, but the Raptors also had Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Danny Green, and Fred VanVleet. That gave them shooting, playmaking, size, and elite defenders everywhere. They won 58 games despite managing Kawhi's workload, then survived a 7-game war against Philadelphia. After that, they beat a 60-win Milwaukee team 4 straight times after falling behind 2 games to none, then defeated Golden State in 6 games. Injuries obviously hurt the Warriors in the finals, but Toronto's versatility and defensive intelligence made them capable of matching almost anyone. Number 6, the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland had one of the highest defensive ceilings of any champion here. Peak LeBron James was surrounded by Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and shooters across the floor. They won 57 games, dominated the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and then faced a 73-win Warriors team in the finals. After falling behind 3 games to 1, LeBron and Kyrie produced some of the greatest individual performances we've ever seen. They eventually completed the first 3-1 comeback in finals history. Their defense wasn't consistently elite, and they weren't as deep as some teams above them. But their top-end talent and shot creation made their best version nearly impossible to stop. Number 5, the 2024 Boston Celtics. Boston had almost no weakness anywhere on the floor. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown gave them 2 elite two-way wings, while Drew Holiday and Derek White formed arguably the best defensive backcourt in basketball. Kristaps Porzingis added rim protection and floor spacing, while Al Horford gave them another experienced big who could defend and shoot. The Celtics won 64 games, finished near the top of the league on both ends, and then went 16-3 in the playoffs. They finished the job by beating Dallas in 5 games in the finals. Their path wasn't the toughest, but purely based on talent, depth, shooting, and defensive versatility, they were an incredibly complete basketball team. Number 4, the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio didn't rely on one player dominating the ball. Almost everyone on the roster could contribute. Tim Duncan was still elite, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili controlled the offense, Kawhi Leonard was emerging into a star, and players like Danny Green, Boris Diaw, Patty Mills, and Tiago Splitter gave them unbelievable depth. They won 62 games, then survived a difficult Western Conference before getting revenge on Miami in the finals. The Spurs won that series in 5 games, with some of the best passing and offensive execution ever seen on the final stage. They weren't the most talented team individually, but collectively they were almost flawless. Number 3, the 2013 Miami Heat. This was the best version of Miami's Big Three, and arguably the best version of LeBron James. The Heat went 66-16, won 27 consecutive games, and had LeBron playing MVP-level offense while also defending almost every position. Wade and Bosh remained all-star level weapons, while Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, and Chris Anderson gave them shooting, defense, and depth. Miami did get pushed to 7 games by Indiana and San Antonio, but when they needed another level, they found it. That included their legendary Game 6 comeback in the finals. Their combination of superstar talent, athleticism, defense, shooting, and peak LeBron earns them number 3. Number 2, the 2018 Golden State Warriors. Their 58-win regular season doesn't fully show how terrifying this team actually was. Golden State already knew the regular season wasn't the goal. They still had prime Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, alongside Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, with Andre Iguodala providing another elite defender and playmaker. Houston pushed them to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. That exposed the fact that this Warriors team wasn't quite as consistently dominant as the year before. But once they survived, they swept Cleveland in the finals. At full strength, Curry's gravity combined with Durant's isolation scoring gave defenses almost no solution. That makes this arguably the second most talented championship roster ever. Number 1, the 2017 Golden State Warriors. This is the easiest placement on the list. Golden State took a 73-win core built around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala. Then they added Kevin Durant in his prime. They finished 67-15, ranked among the league's best teams offensively and defensively, and then produced one of the most dominant playoff runs ever. Their postseason record was 16-1. They swept the entire Western Conference, then beat LeBron's Cavaliers in 5 games in the finals. Their only postseason loss came in Game 4 of that series. They had superstar scoring, historically great shooting, elite passing, switching defense, depth, and almost no exploitable weakness. For me, they're clearly the best NBA champions since 2010.